Let's talk about mass culture in the late 1800s. All right, let's do that. Let's do that. All right, this is realist history. So we've been rolling. I hope y'all have been here with me now. You know what I'm talking about? We've talked about industrialization already. We did that whole chapter. Y'all have taken y'all quiz on that chapter. I hope you passed your quiz. If you didn't, you need to go back and study. Okay. We've already in this chapter on immigration and urbanization in the late 1800s. We've covered immigration in our section. We covered urbanization specifically. If you missed those, go back and watch those. Okay. And now it's time to talk about some of the cultural things of the Gilded Age. Okay. And we'll kind of touch on why it was called that in this section. You feel me? But we got a whole nother chapter and we're going to get all deep down in the details with it. You feel me? All right. But for today we're talking about mass culture. All right. But before we get into it, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I am your homeboy first, and this is the realest, most entertaining show in the game. Put it on some. Again, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that share button. Put all your people on and turn on those notifications. You feel me? You cannot find anyone on the internet like your homeboy first. I can entertain you. I can educate you. I can inspire you. You feel me? So let's do some education right now in the realest way possible. You feel me? And let's not waste no time. Let's go ahead and get straight to the business. You feel me? Our objectives for this section are to explain how new types of stores and marketing changed American life. All right, we want to analyze the ways in which America has developed a mass culture. And lastly, we want to describe the new forms of popular entertainment in the late 1800s. All right, so those are our objectives for this section. All right, let's get into some of the key terms and people we're gonna be dealing with. All right, so we got Mark Twain, and y'all are familiar with Mark Twain, you know, at least from your English classes and shit when you're growing up. You feel me? All right, Mark Twain, a satirical novelist who wrote about American life in the late 1800s. All right, Gilded Age was a term coined or created by Mark Twain to describe the post-Reconstruction era, which was characterized by a facade of prosperity. I really like that metaphor for this time period, and I'm gonna go into detail on it with y'all. You feel me? All right, conspicuous consumerism, purchasing of goods and services to impress others. You're buying shit just to impress folk. You feel me? We know a lot of folk do that. All right, mass culture, similar consumption patterns as a result of the spread of transportation, communication, and advertising. All right, Joseph Pulitzer and William Randolph Hearst. I want y'all to remember these cats together, okay? Joseph Pulitzer, an immigrant who became a publisher of sensationalistic newspapers. When you see that word sensationalism or sensationalistic, what do you think? Messy, okay? Quite often fucking inaccurate, just trying to stir up shit. But we know that sells, okay? William Randolph Hearst, a competitor of Pulitzer's, who also published sensationalistic newspapers. All right, Horatio Alger, a novelist who wrote about characters who succeeded through hard work, and vaudeville, a type of show including dancing, singing, and comedy sketches that became popular in the late 19th century. So those are our key terms and people. All right, our overall question for this section is: what luxuries did cities offer to the middle class? Okay, why were motherfuckers going to the cities? All right, we already kind of talked about that. All right, last section. I had to take a brief hiatus. You know what I'm talking about? But if you missed it, go back and watch it. But in general, the number one reason they were going to the cities was because of money, job opportunities. You feel me? But we want to look at the culture though in those cities at this time as well. All right, so this section is mainly we getting at urban America, okay? But some of this shit is more general for all of America as well. All right, without further ado, let's do it. All right, during the last part of the 19th century, a new middle class lifestyle gained popularity and influence in America. Though some dislike the values of this era, the shared American culture created then would persist for the next century. All right, and you'll see evidence of that in this section. Let's go. All right. In his 1873 novel, The Gilded Age, novelist Mark Twain satirically depicted American society as gilded or having a rotten core covered with gold paint. Most Americans were not as cynical, but Twain's label stuck, and historians call the late 19th century the Gilded Age. Okay, so let's get into this, y'all. The Gilded Age. Basically, he's saying America looked good on the outside, but when you really get up in this bitch, when you really analyze what's really going on, that it was rotten. That's what he's getting at. That's what he's getting at. All right. So the way I used to sell it to the students is like this. All right, now I would tell the boys, I'll say, fellas, let's say y'all on Instagram and you're scrolling, fellas, okay? And you come across a little shorty, fellas, and she bad. You know, talking about little shorty bad. She, got everything you would want a shorty to have. You know, talking about everything is where it needs to be. Boom, bam, pow. You know, talking about she one of those, okay? And so you know what you do. You get in the DM, talking about you holler at shorty. Let's say you got a little game, talking about, so you get it there. You set up a date. Okay, everything goes nice. With that, y'all both show up at the restaurant. She hop about her car, and what she looked like on the picture matches what she looks like in real life. So you're like, okay, it's about to go down. Let's go. It goes down, all right. It goes downhill after that. Because when you get in the restaurant, she loud, she ratchet. Now, some of y'all might like ratchet women. I don't know, but for those of y'all that don't, see, she's ratchet. She cussed out the waiter. She ordering all the most expensive shit on the menu. She's expecting you to pay for it, even though it's the first motherfucking date. You know what I'm talking about? And then finally, at the end of the night, can you put up with all this shit because she's so bad? But at the end of the night, you go in for the kissing. Even her breath stank. God damn. So everything was fucked up. The outside was gorgeous, but everything else, on her inside, her character was fucked up. Hell, that girl was gilded. And so Mark Twain was saying America was gilded. America looked good on the outside. But when you really looked at what the fuck was really going on in America, shit was fucked up. So, y'all know this already. So during the industrial age, we got all these new factory jobs popping up. Okay, so on the outside looking in, America getting to this money. Okay, America getting rich. But where's the wealth going? Y'all know because you studied. You've been watching realist history. The wealth was going to motherfuckers like Rockefeller and Carnegie. Okay, and yeah, you got all these jobs. Ooh, America has so many job opportunities. Those jobs were fucked up. 12 to 16-hour days working in a sweatshop. Okay. Urbanization is occurring. American cities just growing, and look at all these skyscrapers. Oh my God. But what was really going on? You had motherfuckers living in the tenements. You had overcrowded cities. You had crime. You had a lack of sanitation. You feel me? Outside looking in, America is the land of the free, the home of the brave. They are not a country run by a man. They are a country run by law. You feel me? They have the Constitution. Black folk dealing with Jim Crow. White women couldn't vote. Hispanics out west getting shitted on. Asians getting shit on. They literally had a law called the Chinese Exclusion Act. Get my point? Like outside looking in, America was popping. But there was a lot of fucked up shit going on. And that's why this man was saying, hey, dog, this the Gilded Age. Look golden, but this shit riding to the core. You feel me? Let's keep moving. Let's keep moving, y'all. All right. Let me get this off here. All right. Industrialization and urbanization changed the lives of American workers as more people began to work for wages rather than for themselves on farms. More people had more money and more products were available. For many, this led to a culture of conspicuous consumerism. Okay, remember, we define that as You're just buying shit to be seen. You're buying shit to impress other motherfuckers. Okay, now and look, we talking about the late 1800s now. I ain't talking about right now in 2025. We talking about the late 1800s. So you see how human beings, our motivations and shit, and our desires and our actions haven't changed much, y'all. It's just that the technology changed. So motherfuckers still want to buy shit back then to impress folks, just like today when people buy something, the first thing they do, take a picture and put it on Instagram, or you out to eat and you want to take a picture of your goddamn plate and put it on the internet so everybody can see what you eat. Conspicuous consumerism. That shit was around back then as well, y'all. Let's go. All right, by the 1870s, many big cities had department stores, which turned shopping into a form of entertainment for middle-class men and women. Department stores attracted customers with widespread advertising and a variety of high-quality goods at fair prices. Same shit today, right? Okay, you know a lot of motherfuckers go to the mall just to have fun. Just walk around that bitch. You feel me? Some folks don't need anything from the mall, but they just want something, and so they just go, hey, let's go shopping. I love to shop. You know how some people list their hobbies, they say shopping. So spending money is something they love to do. You feel me? And the culture kind of drives that and creates that through all this advertising. It's bowl season in college football, and every goddamn bowl is sponsored by some corporation. You feel me? When you know, and so it's all around us, trying to convince you to go spend your dollar. All right, people began to measure success by what they could buy, and they equated purchasing power with a higher standard of living. In this period, the cost of living decreased because manufactured products and new technology cost less. Better sanitation and medical care contributed to a longer life expectancy. And pardon me, y'all, if y'all hear anything in the background, you know, y'all know I'm living with my mama right now, trying to take care of my mom. I'm filming this on New Year's Day. You know, Happy New Year to everybody. You know what I'm talking about? And motherfuckers outside lighting this shit up right now with the fireworks. So, you know, I still got to get my work done by any means necessary. But so pardon me if you hear any fireworks going off. All right, but look at this slide, y'all. Some interesting shit on here. It says people began to measure success by what they could buy. Think about that from a moral standpoint. Think about that now. You know how people love to say back in the good old days, but motherfuckers be even back then with judging your ass based on your money. Your money defines you in this country, unfortunately. Your pockets, your paper. It's fucked up. That's how it was. That's how it is. Okay. But a good thing on here, like I said, better sanitation and medical care contributed to a longer life expectancy. Did you know that in the year 1900, let's say, hell, the average life expectancy was in the 40s? I want to say it was 47. I think it was 47. Let me double check for y'all. Okay. All right, let's do life expectancy in the US 1900. Let's do that. Okay. All right. Yeah, I was right. It was 47 years old. 46 for men, 48 for women. So I just turned 40 last year, y'all. Once upon a time, if I was living around this time, 1900, I'd be expecting to check up out this bitch after a while. You feel me? Like we don't think about shit like that. And I think the Bible has us fucked up too, because you know you read your Bible and you see motherfuckers the ages that folks have in the Bible. They had to be counting age differently back then. Okay, because ain't nowhere in the hell that in 1900 the average life expectancy in a rich country like America was 47 years. But you telling me back in biblical time, before they had better sanitation and medical care and shit, was motherfuckers living all these damn years and shit like that. Like they had to be counting age differently. You know what I'm talking about? Because things have progressively gotten better with better sanitation and better medical care and vaccines and all that kind of shit. So what we have to do is make sure we're still investing in science, technology, engineering, and math. Okay. Keep pushing this shit forward. Keep pushing this shit forward. Let's go. All right. Let's look at some of the changes during the Gilded Age for women and men. All right, we're gonna do women first. All right, it says store-bought clothing, prepackaged foods, and indoor plumbing made some tasks easier. Rising expectations of cleanliness and more complicated meals made some tasks harder. Men and women had to work outside the home to achieve a middle-class lifestyle. So think about that now. All right, so while on the one hand, these new things making things easier, but goddamn it, now there's a new expectation for more. Okay, you can't just have no soup and some bread if you're going to be in the middle class. You need to have some meat. You know what I'm talking about? Some chicken, some steak, or something like that. Gotta have some vegetables. You gotta have your bread. You know what I'm talking about? No, you need two goddamn side dishes. You know what I'm talking about? So you can't just have one vegetable. You gotta have something else go with this shit. You know what I'm talking about? Oh, then you gotta have dessert if you truly in the middle class. Your house needs to always be company ready. You feel me? If you're truly in the middle class. Now, this shit costs money. So this shit that all women once upon a time just was in the house, that's bullshit. It's telling you right here, men and women had to work outside the home to achieve this so-called middle class lifestyle. You feel me? Let's look at it for men. Public transportation allowed families to live farther from the cities. Men often had to commute long distances to work, and men worked hard, but the American culture taught that hard work would pay off. Doesn't it tell us that? And everybody watching it know somebody who worked their whole damn life and ain't got shit. That's a failure of our system. Because your hard work should pay off. Your hard work should pay off. Let's go. One of the effects of the spread of transportation, communication, and advertising was that Americans became more alike in their consumption patterns. Rich and poor wore the same clothing styles. People bought the same kinds of products. This phenomenon is known as mass culture. Okay. So think about this big ass country we got. Okay. A vast country. And the fact that we wear similar clothes and buy similar products, you know, to my that connects us. Okay. We're connected in what we do, and that is mass culture. All right, let's use a modern example. Whether you are in Mississippi, California, New York, uh, Wyoming, Illinois, everybody know the number one shoe to rock is J's. You know that. Okay. You know that. That's mass culture. That's mass culture. Hip hop. The popularity of hip hop is throughout our nation. That's mass culture. The popularity of football is throughout our nation. I know it's a religion down here in this South, but it's popular everywhere in America. That's mass culture. Okay. Now, the way mass culture spreads has varied depending on the technology that was available at the time. So the way mass culture spread back then was through the newspapers. All right, the newspapers of the Gilded Age both reflected and helped create mass culture. All right, between 1870 and 1900, the number of newspapers increased from about 600 to more than 1600. All right, ethnic and special interest publishers catered to the array of urban dwellers, especially immigrants. Now, these are the cats I really want y'all to know. All right, I'm gonna show y'all a picture of both. All right, Joseph Pulitzer and William Randolph Hearst. These motherfuckers were stupid, stanky, rich off publishing these newspapers, all right? But peep game and peep how what their hustle was. All right. Joseph Pulitzer believed that the job of a newspaper was to inform people and to stir up controversy. His papers were sensationalistic. The sensationalistic newspapers of William Randolph Hearst competed with Pulitzer's papers for readers. Okay. So that term sensationalism. Think messy. And unfortunately, you know that mess sells. Okay. I think my brother, right, says Leo, he used to be in the media, and if I'm not mistaken, he told me one of the mantras that they had in the media game. He was a sports reporter, so this wasn't him talking about this. Like he didn't come up with this, and he wasn't endorsing this, but he was just saying that this is what a lot of motherfuckers say in news. Like when they're choosing what they're gonna put out there, what's gonna be in the opening of the show, what's gonna be in the headline. He told me that them motherfuckers say, if it bleeds, it leads. If it bleeds, it leads. Now I know some of y'all complain and say you don't watch the news because there's always something sad. It's always showing somebody got killed. You know why they do that? Because people are interested in that. They do that because that's what makes people back then pick up the paper. That's what made people turn on their radios. That's what made people turn on the television sets. That's what makes people click on shit now on the internet. Murder, sex, crime, controversy. The more mess, the more money they can make. You feel me? It's a hustle. It's a hustle. So let's take a look at the hustlers. You feel me? All right, so first here, I'm going to show you a picture of Joseph Pulitzer. Okay. And y'all have heard that name. Think about it. If somebody's really popping in journalism, what they give them? They give them a Pulitzer Prize. That's him. That's him. Like, this motherfucker's a big dog, y'all. Okay. But he got big. He mess ass newspaper. That's how he got big. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. All right, let's do another one. Show y'all Hearst. Show y'all William Randolph Hearst, his competitor. Okay. Again, we want to tie them to sensationalism, or like you're trying to help your kids study or something like that. They may come across the term yellow press or yellow journalism. Those terms are synonymous with sensationalism. It's the same shit. So don't be fooled. All right, so this is William Randolph Hearst. So both of these boys again got stupid, stinking rich. Both of them money still probably floating around this bitch. Their family's probably still getting money. I think like if you watch closely enough, hell, the Hearst Corporation owns a lot of these news outlets and shit like that. Like controversy sales. Hell, that's why it's taking me longer to get rich than other motherfuckers, because I don't do all that messy shit. You know, some people may take my shit mess, but I just really be speaking from the heart. I present facts and you know, I speak that real about the facts that I present. You feel me? Now, motherfuckers may call that controversy, but shit, that ain't why I'm doing it. I'm just doing it to keep 100. All right, but remember them, y'all. Remember William Randolph Hearst, and remember Joseph Pulitzer. All right, and while I'm at it, let's do some modern examples of sensationalism. You feel me? So y'all can see this shit is still alive and well. Now, I would argue that it's worse than ever because of the internet. Motherfuckers just put any goddamn thing on the internet now, you know, because it's so easy. All you gotta do is have a goddamn internet connection, and you can put whatever the fuck you want out here. Okay, so like let's look at one of the most dangerous forms of sensationalism in the last 15 years or so, 20 years, whatever. This shit. Y'all remember this? Maybe not saying y'all remember this particular paper, but y'all remember these motherfuckers trying to say President Obama wasn't born in America. Okay, so look at this headline. Obama was not born in U.S. Presidency is illegal. No birth certificate. Government official tells all. That was some dangerous shit. The president is the commander in chief of the fucking military. So you had some motherfuckers, it was reported, who were like, they weren't going to follow orders because the president is illegal. And of course, it was bullshit. But like when you're a public figure, you get faced with so much of this shit, you know what I'm talking about? A lot of times they don't be suing and stuff. If I was Obama, I would have lit all these publications up. They would have to see me. They would have to see me, goddammit. All right, let's look at another one from the Obama era. And these motherfuckers, the tabloid joints, y'all be seeing them like in Walmart, or y'all see them in the grocery store and shit. Y'all be in line. But again, a lot of this stuff has gone on the internet now. But look at this. Says Obama marriage explodes. Michelle humiliated at Mandela Memorial. President cozies up to sexy Danish prime minister. Okay. And then they got underneath it, I've had enough, Michelle rages. Secret talks with divorce lawyers. How Barack shamed America. Then they got him like he giving her a kiss and shit. What really happened behind closed doors after he kissed her. Man, bruh. And then they got Michelle over there, mean mugging. This shit is playing with so many different fucking racist stereotypes, bro. This straight flaming racist stereotypes, from the angry black woman to the oversexed black man who's fiending for the white woman. Like, this shit fucked up. But that's sensationalism. I bet you this paper went gold, goddammit. If not platinum. They probably did 1 million copies on this shit. That's sensationalism, dog. That's sensationalism. Because y'all know good and hell, that man still married to Michelle. And from everything we can see here, it look like they happily married. But them folks don't give a fuck about the truth. They just trying to make some money. All right, so be careful, y'all, and warn your children about this shit when they're on the internet. Because, again, it's worse than ever now with all these blog sites, with all these YouTube channels who don't give a fuck about truth. You know what I'm saying? They just put shit out here. And motherfuckers be believing. Y'all remember when COVID? Folks were putting shit out here talking about 5G towers created COVID and all this type of crazy shit. You know, wow, bro. But that's sensationalism. It sells. Let's go. All right, during the Gilded Age, literature and art that explored harsh realities was popular. Stephen Crane wrote about New York slums. Horatio Alger wrote about characters who succeeded through hard work. Robert Henry and others developed a style of painting known as the Ashkin School, which depicted the squalor of New York slums. Now, when I used to teach this, I compared this to hip hop. You feel me? Roll with me. Hip hop is an art form, and like if you're talking about like gangster rap, especially, it explores the harsh realities. They talk about the slums. Jay-Z and Nas and Biggie were rapping about the New York slums. Okay. They talk about rags to riches situation. Think about Biggie's song Juicy. You feel me? Like, it ain't nothing new that people are interested in these subjects. Okay. So whether it be literature, whether it be art, or whether it be today with hip hop, you know, it's about learning about people going through struggle and overcoming that struggle. People have seemed like for quite some time been very interested in those stories. Let's go. All right. Public education expanded rapidly as grade school education became compulsory, meaning your ass had to do it. More teenagers began attending high schools and kindergartens opened. As a result, the literacy rate climbed to nearly 90% by 1900. Now, of course, it would have been even higher than that if you didn't have all this discriminatory shit going on in our country, but we'll get more into that a little later. All right. Schools began to do a better job of preparing people for careers. And also I should say that, remember, child labor is legal at this time as well now. So you do have that battle going on between motherfuckers thinking to let these kids go to work and other motherfuckers saying, no, a child should be in school. So let's not forget that. I just wanted to point that out. Now let's go. All right. Schools began to do a better job of preparing people for careers. Schools taught skills that workers needed in budding industries. Teachers attended training schools, and reformers such as John Dewey introduced new teaching methods. Universities began to provide specialized training for urban careers such as social work. And we'll talk later on, y'all, about the battle within academic circles on what should be taught in school. I think y'all gonna find that very interesting when we get there. All right, let's look at education for a few different subgroups. All right. It says education for all. Let's look at immigrants first. Schools taught immigrants English and helped Americanize them. Okay, we talked a little bit about assimilation, to blend in with the majority group. Well, to Americanize a motherfucker is basically the same thing. You know, it's just being more specific to the United States. I try to get these immigrants to be more hip to American culture, not only the language, but American customs and everything overall. You feel me? All right, for women, a few careers were open to women. There was an upsurge in women's colleges, and many state universities began to accept women. Now, I know that's hard to believe today when you look at universities, and many of them, women outnumber men. You feel me? But once upon a time, you know, it was thought of that college was a thing for men, and if a woman went to college, she just needs to go get her MRS degree. You know, try to become a missus. Go find your husband. You feel me? And so we're gonna see how that starts to change and how women push back on that notion. You know, as we move throughout the class this year. All right, let's look at black folks, African Americans. All right, limited access to white institutions led to a growth in schools and colleges for African Americans. All right, so because of racial discrimination, because of Jim Crow, because Plessy v. Ferguson, and we'll talk about that as well. Because these motherfuckers with this separate but equal bullshit. All right, you're gonna have black folks in the South not being able to go to these white schools, and so that's how you end up with a Jackson State University, an Alcorn, a Mississippi Valley, a Grambling, a FAMU, a Southern, so forth and so on. That's how you end up with it. All right. Let's go. All right. During the Gilded Age, new kinds of entertainment emerged. Amusement parks, Coney Island, and similar parks offered roller coasters and other rides. Outdoor events, Buffalo Bill's Wild West show toured America. Chautauquas offered storytelling, bands, singers, and lectures on politics and morals. Fun in the city, vaudeville shows were a mixture of musical drama, songs, and comedy. Nickelodeons introduced motion pictures. Ragtime bands played in music halls. All right. Now, later on, I will, excuse me, I'll discuss with y'all a very fucked up form of entertainment at this time called minstrel shows, aka blackface. We gonna talk about that in a real way. Okay, we will. Not quite there yet, but that was something that was wildly popular back then. All right. Last one, y'all. All right. Baseball, America's national sport, or we could say national pastime as it was called, became extremely popular during the Gilded Age. Although after 1887, it was segregated. Horse and bicycle racing, boxing, football, and basketball also became popular spectator sports. And that shit too was segregated. All right, so different world, y'all. Different world. You see the world starting to the modern world starting to emerge, but still, you know, you have a lack of technology, so it still looked different than what we do today, and also you still got that stain of racial discrimination and then gender discrimination going on as well, and so that makes all this shit play out differently than today. But we'll get more into this as we move on. But that's it, y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed it. Let's run back through our key terms and people real quick. Just to double back. So we talked about Mark Twain. All right, and remember he's the one that came up with the term Gilded Age. Also, y'all probably read Huckleberry Finn by him and shit like that. All right. We said Gilded Age, though, is basically used to describe America at that time as being golden on the outside, but fucked up actually on the inside. Conspicuous consumerism, we said that's just buying shit to impress folks. Mass culture, we saying that's widespread culture, is that we do things similarly. We buy similar shit, we use similar phrases, and all this culture is shared through communication, transportation, advertising. Okay. And we said the main thing that was spreading mass culture back then was newspapers, and the king of the newspapers were Joseph Pulitzer, William Randolph Hearst, and they were getting that stupid money because they were their papers were sensationalistic. They were messy, but people like mess. All right. Horatio Alger, we said he was writing about characters that rose up, and overcame struggle through hard work. So people like that shit. And vaudeville, we said that's a type of show that got a variety of shit like dancing, singing, comedy sketches, all that kind of stuff. And that was something that was popping in the late 19th century. All right, so we knocked out another one, y'all. Again, I hope y'all enjoyed it. All right. If you need to rewatch it, do that. All right, because y'all got a quiz coming up. So I hope y'all ready to handle that. You feel me? So go back and watch all segments of Realist History, so you will be prepared for that. All right. But again, I appreciate y'all for fucking with these segments here on the Realest, most entertaining show in the game. Put it on something.